Welcome to Fandom Night, the show whose hair was blonde, so it assumed that it was the recessive clone.
Wow.
That's actually not terrible. We've had worse.
Yeah, that's true.
So, we are finally going to move forward on the legacy here. It is time to talk Metal Gear 2.
Yay, MSX.
Not that Snake's Revenge bullshit.
Yes.
Stupid Nintendo.
We are skipping Snake's Revenge. We will not be talking about it. This is Metal Gear 2, MSX. So, we've been adding a slight new segment here called Your First Experience. So, I guess if I had to say my first experience with this thing, it was emulation. I played Metal Gear Solid. I read that thing in the special area of the game where you go in, you like read the little books of the pre-story.
Yeah.
And after I read that, I was like, man, how do I play it? So then I had to get online and I tried to find it on like Nintendo. And when I was looking around at ROMs, I figured out I needed an MSX emulator to play it. And that's how I first played it.
By the way, I'm Sario, and I'm an asshole, so you don't have to be.
Oh shit, we didn't introduce anybody. I'm getting weird about this intro shit.
By the way, the guy who's been doing most of the talking is ReploidBill, the asshole who leads us along and forgets things.
Lately, we're moving on 7 years, man. I feel like we've done this for so long, people should already know, but they don't. I mean, I realize that. So, yes, ReploidBill, William Bush.
Set level Sario.
Nick the Lone Paladin.
And when it comes down to me for my actual first time playing it, once again, this is another one of those where it took until the HD collection that came out for the 360. Excuse me.
No, that'd be the same for me, too. Because I never bothered wanting to play it. Because I didn't really like Metal Gear 1. Because I tried to play that on the NES. And, yeah, I had a bad time.
Kind of ruined you for life at that point.
I had a bad time.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And then Solid came out, and I was like, I'll try this again. I was like, holy shit, this game's amazing. But then we sat down because we had to get video footage for MG2, and I was like, no. And then I got lost on elevators.
Yeah, I tried helping, and memory wasn't quite what it used to be at one point.
Yeah, and then we had the fun part of the swamp. That was fun.
Yeah, the swamp.
You know, invisible, feel your way around or die.
Yep.
That was cool. Especially traversing it 3 times.
Sorry. Okay, so first we see it.
It's old.
Yes, but it actually looks a lot better.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than it could have been. But it is old.
No, he means in terms of like part 1 to part 2, this is a massive increase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, no joke. Like, I had screwed up when we were talking about it for the NES. This is the first one that literally put almost everything, like, the way that it is now. Snake can literally crouch and crawl underneath the trucks.
Well, that's all gameplay. Just what it looks like right now.
That's true. Anyway.
They kind of look more like humans.
Yeah, they do. They look way more like humans.
They did better with the sprites.
The Metal Gear looks way more menacing. The fact that, your inventory looks a hell of a lot better because there's and I know it dips in the story, but there's a part where you get like a brooch, and then you have to like heat it to turn it into a key, and then you got to cool it to turn it into another key, and it actually, if you pay attention while it's doing it, the sprite actually changes as it's like shape-shifting into the key. Like
Goopy
the fact
brooch.
that they did, the fact that they did way more with stuff like that was actually pretty damn amazing. There's also conveyor belts and stuff. Like that's how you can get into some of the buildings as you box up and get on the conveyor belts.
And the conveyor belts look like they're actually moving.
Yeah, you can clearly tell that that's exactly what they are and that's what they're doing. Like,
so it actually looks good.
Oh yeah, looks a hell of a lot
especially compared
better.
to 1.
Yeah, I can admit to that. Yeah.
So we saw it.
Yes. Now we hear it.
It's 8-bit.
Yeah, but that's not
But
say. I mean, Mega Man is
honestly,
8-bit.
Yeah.
Honestly, the sounds aren't bad.
I think the sound
could've been
goes up
better.
in a department because like now there are different sounds between walking on grass, walking on floor, and walking on plates.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like much, but in the sound effects department, that's a pretty big deal that there's 3 different walking sounds. And most of
Actually,
this game, it's the sounds of the game rather than the music. The music adds an atmosphere.
Yeah,
though.
the music adds an atmosphere, but technically there's way more than that because if you're walking in the dirt, you get like one
The
walk
crunchy sound.
Yeah. You know, the dirt and the grass gets like one sound. When you're walking through like the bog, it makes kind of like a swampy, like
Goopy
boggy,
sound.
Goopy sound. Yeah. When you walk through the desert, especially if you get to the squeaking sand,
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it goes
it
like
makes
sand.
a different noise.
it goes like weep, 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 weep as you run across
you
it.
can be running through one of the different bases, and if you're stepping on the metal, it makes one
clanks.
walk sound. As soon as you start walking over the plates, like Bill
Or,
said,
yeah, the plates
or
clank.
there's chain link fence in there too. You step across that, and it makes a different sound.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of those sounds will alert the guards.
Which goes into gameplay a little
Which
bit,
is
but
the
that
dick.
actually is cool because instead of just like guard being like, "Oh, I saw that motherfucker. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get him." It was, "Huh?
Sometimes
What was that
they
noise?"
Can hear you.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think he actually. They don't speak yet.
Well, no,
No.
it's just the concept of, "Huh? What was that noise?" And they just start walking that way. It's like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
And then they see you and they go, "Bleep," and you go, "Ah, crap," and then you haul ass and try and hide,
Yeah.
or you die.
Well, since you keep trying to jump to it, let's just go to gameplay because I'm noticing like
There's not much for the sound stuff.
Well, we've been having this issue lately where
There
we're talking
is,
about how
but,
things look, and people immediately jump to the story to talk about how it looks, or like the sound, and people will jump to the story to try to talk about how it sounds. And I get that, but let's just jump to the gameplay because that's where you keep going.
It's just kind of the way it goes, though.
It's because
sometimes
it's
that's the only way to
all-inclusive
explain it.
Is the problem like that's
It's kinda
not
like
even a joke. Like like I said, the sound plays majorly here because again, if an enemy hears your footsteps, they're gonna come looking to see what the fuck was making that weird ass noise.
Right.
At the same time, there's ways around it. Like
It's
I
just
said,
that
you
in
could-
this game, in the Metal Gear games, we've ran into a problem with the way our system works because the ideas that we've constantly run with so far is like, oh, this is how it looks and this is how it sounds, but the look and sound and gameplay of Metal Gear, it's all one inclusive thing. Like you said, separating it doesn't work.
yeah.
It is one big thing. It's all a part of it. Like when he
It's kinda
sees
like
you,
a
he
movie.
says. Yeah, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
Because without a soundtrack, your movie is not going to draw people in.
Well, it's also kind of like
100%.
this is one of those games.
Yes
this is
and
one
no,
of
it depends on what
I,
type
I
of
said
movie
100%.
it is,
It's
yeah.
not going to pull them in. It's
Well-
like you can have a great story and pull some people in, but if you want to pull everybody in, you have to have the right soundtrack for the right moment.
Well, I think that when you say it's like a movie, it's kind of like you don't watch a movie and listen to the radio at the same time. You miss something about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unlike how I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog, I used to turn it on, turn my TV down, crank my radio up, and listen to the Offspring Smash album as I ran through the game. I could do
That's
that.
a good
You
album.
got to go fast.
But it doesn't
And
work
rock
the
out.
same in Metal Gear. Like if I turn my radio on
You're
and
going to
play
get
Metal
killed.
Gear, it messes me up because the Metal Gear, the sound is such a big part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, lack thereof if you can help it, because you don't want sound.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
sound
I said,
means death is death is approaching.
yeah.
Well, like
Because
you
there's
said,
ways
this
around
is
that.
this is the first time he could crawl, hide
Yep.
under tables, move through vents. The floor clanked sometimes. That would get people's attention.
Yeah.
There were green hat soldiers, red hat soldiers. Like,
Trying to remember, did the first Metal Gear have like the collapsing floor bullshit?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because I couldn't
Yes,
remember
it
if it
had the
started in this one or if
pitfalls.
it's been in the whole thing. Because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of pitfalls in this one,
Oh my
Oh,
and it
god.
pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't cheat. If I remember correctly, you can't cheat the pitfalls in this one. If I can
Oh, no.
speak, because in Metal Gear Original, if you switch to the codecs, because it would go to a completely separate screen and have to show different graphics, you could literally like wipe out the pit as it was starting
And just
to
keep
show.
going.
Yeah.
Now, Metal Gear 2 is often referred to as the game that got remade. A lot of fans believe that Metal Gear Solid is a remake. It's not, because Metal Gear Solid references this game, but you'll notice that a lot of the cliches of the series come into play here. He fights a robot ninja who was a guy from a previous game who was a partner who was turned into an enemy. He will fight the flying enemy. Like, he always flies like a helicopter or a jet or something.
It was a helicopter.
Yep.
Yeah, hit it with the stingers.
You get attacked in the elevator because the weight limit goes over and the 4 invisible guys attack you.
Yep.
Which, you would think
And that
several
was a
years
bitch.
later, in Shadow Moses, Snake would have been like, that's weird. The elevator just went over limit. Wait a minute. I've been here before.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, get out. You would have thought something like that would have happened. Instead, he's like, that's weird. And then Otacon goes, Snake, all the other prototypes for my stealth camo went bye-bye.
Oh, there was...
And he's like,
you had to save a doctor. You had to save a doctor, and there was one guy who you were sent to save who was in disguise.
Yep.
That's true again.
And when you saved the doctor, you had to go save his daughter.
Yep.
Which is kind of like saving Meryl.
Yep, kind of. Yeah, there's a lot of little things, but I think if you look at all the games are kind of like an interesting throwback to each other. Because as you play them, there's always the flying enemy. There's almost always the one part where there's... Like, the sniper rifle battle has become a thing now. It's expected in each game.
Where was the flying enemy in Metal Gear Solid 3?
Metal Gear Solid 3.
I think that one was the only one that didn't have a flying enemy.
No.
Because I don't remember fighting the flying guy.
The Firefly guy.
But you didn't shoot it in while he was flying.
Yeah, he kind of
landed on the ground and blew fire
thing.
at your ass. You went, oh no! When he flew, you got out the way.
He might be right. 3 might be the only time where you didn't really contend with like a helicopter or some shit.
It's like the only thing that's even close to that would have been the Shagohod, and that thing didn't really fly. It flew for like 3 seconds as it did a ramp off the broken bridge using its jet boosters, and then it landed.
Technically, Nick always has a flying enemy he's got to deal with because he always takes out the SVD and ends up with the wheelchair flying at his face. So technically there's a flying enemy.
I eat the wheelchair wheel. It's great. I love that. I've dodged it once.
Yeah, I know.
And I remember I got hit in the face, and then I got hit in the face the first time in that, and I was so stunned that I actually got hit, I drowned. Because I didn't get Snake out of the water fast enough, so he drowned because he ran out of oxygen.
That'll learn you.
So yeah, this gameplay-wise,
there's too goddamn much to it.
Well, not that there's too much to it. It's just
still
very
pretty
solid.
simplistic.
Well, yeah,
but it's actually
is,
very well done, except for one specific part of the game that I have a big problem with.
What?
The swamp.
Oh, yeah, that gets to be a pain in the dick, but it's still manageable.
It is, but you have nothing to go off of. You take a couple steps, you walk off the super invisible path, you start sinking, and if you don't move immediately, you die. Because you won't make it back in time.
Get like 5 seconds.
You don't make it, and it takes about 4 to get back onto that thing because you're moving so slow.
Yeah.
So if you don't move within a second, which NES time and MSX time, that's immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you die. So that was a pain in the ass.
You die. Fuck. Anyway.
Yep, pretty much. Other than that, I liked the game. It was actually really neat. Certain bosses had gimmicks like all the others, like the running man.
Oh yeah, lay the mines.
You lay the mines, and you have to have the gas mask on, or you die, because the
Yep.
room's filled with gas. So you just lay a couple claymores, and you go, ha ha, bitch, you ran into it. Here's some more. Ha ha ha. Now you're dead. Give me that.
I used to do that to fight Fat Man.
Yeah.
I would put down those
With
claymores.
more bombs.
Fuck you, Skate.
He's so fat. How's he move so fast? I don't know. Let's do this with mobile arms.
That's all right. There's still the greatest boss battle ever. Bill got to do that boss battle.
Which boss battle?
The one where you essentially, after you've beaten the game is over. Oh wait, no, it's not. Big Boss still lives.
You fight Big Boss. Yeah,
You gotta kill Big Boss.
Now you gotta find all the key cards so that way then you can go into the different rooms to get hairspray
and a lighter.
While fighting him.
Which he should already have a lighter because he has a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, but that doesn't. No, he didn't have a lighter.
Yeah.
How's he smoke the cigarettes?
Because you lose everything at that point in the game.
Oh, okay.
Like when you get there, you don't have anything left, and then you walk in that room. And I will say it can go one of two ways. It can be an easy boss fight or a tragically difficult one because Big Boss is on your nuts, punching and shooting, and you gotta go into a room, get a key card, come out of the room, go find the one door that key card that you just got opens, which will give you another key card to get into a room, and you got to repeat this process until you find like the lighter, and then you got to find like this fluid stuff, like this oil spray or something, and then you get that, and then you can create like a makeshift flamethrower, and then you can finally fight against
ultimate weapon against Big Boss.
By the way, there's also like oil spills on the ground, or at least they look like oil spills. They're not. They're actually like hazardous goop that if you step in it, it's going to take a quarter of your health.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, there's only X amount of rations in this entire area while you've been stocking up on them the entire fucking game.
Thinking that it's going to matter.
Yeah.
But it took all of them away. It took all of them away before you ever got in the room.
Well, that's also a kind of a gimmick that they throw out in a few of the other ones, like Metal Gear Solid 1 when you're fighting against Liquid. They take all your shit. It's like, nope, we're going to do this fist fight.
For the final fight.
Well, the second to final fight.
I don't consider that truck a final fight.
I know. It's just still funny.
But yes, that's...
Because Liquid does both at the same time.
There's a way to kill the final boss, though, when you're fighting Big Boss. You purposely make him follow you. Run behind this set of crates. His AI will screw up. It has to be one of the crates that's kind of like in an L formation. You run to the side, get behind the crates, immediately turn towards him as he's coming towards the crates, and blow the fire through the crates, and you'll hit him. If you hit him, his AI screws up, and he'll like run back and forth across the crates, and you just unleash fiery hell, and he will die.
Be dead, Big Boss.
Oh, by the way,
he doesn't understand the fact that fire hurts.
Yeah, well, by the way, that's not even the worst part. Now you've dealt with Big Boss, you're all dead as shit, flamethrowered out, you got nothing left, chick shows up, let's get the fuck out of here. Oh, by the way, the last of the guards, they're chasing your ass through the goddamn jungle. Get to that LZ, or else.
Yeah.
Run, boy. I hope you got one ration left, because you's gonna need it.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get to that point in the footage, but, yeah. It got a little ridiculous watching that shit.
I believe it.
Now that we've talked gameplay, and I think so far we've set a plus on everything that we've talked about for this, I believe. Okay. It's time for the story.
Your mission.
Welcome to the jungle.
No.
Oh, wait, that was the first
one. Your mission is to infiltrate Zanzibar land.
There you go.
Get on it, guy.
Go save this doctor.
Well,
go save,
as you're doing
I can't think
that,
of which one his name is.
As you're doing Zanzibar,
Petrovich,
as you're in Zanzibar land, you have to rescue the doctor. He'll tell you about his daughter. You have to go get his daughter. His daughter turns out to be an Olympic. She was she was something in the Olympics, and she retired and went into the military for reasons. I don't think it. I think it explains it, but I can't remember.
It does. What was it? She was going to be a Russian figure skater, but her boyfriend was from like a different part of Soviet Russia or some shit, and he got out and she didn't, and she was trying to get out so that way then she could join him, but something happened and she could no longer ice skate, so she joined the military because it was the only other way for her to get out of Russia. And yeah,
they form a romance during the game. Off of that romance, it's kind of like a Meryl thing. She ends up hurt or dead. Is it dead?
I don't
think
remember.
she died.
Yeah, she does. She dies, but I think she does get hurt first. She gets hurt first, and then that's when the Metal Gear shows up. And because the doctor goes across the bridge, the Metal Gear shows up, blows the bridge, which kills her. And then, of course, Big Boss starts popping off all that good shit.
And then the game, while we were playing it, I kept voicing Gray Fox and making Shane mad because he doesn't think Gray Fox should sound the way I make him sound.
How do you make Gray Fox sound?
Whenever Gray Fox would show up, like
Because I missed this part because I had to leave.
his words and whatnot would show up at the bottom. I'd be like, "No, Snake." It was good. I was like, "My dastardly plan, Snake." It's like, he doesn't sound like that, Bill. And I was like, he does, man, he does.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't get to hear him before because he got all the medical stuff, and then he was like, "Oh, Snake,
Hurt me more, Snake.
But before that, he was like, hurt me, Snake. Let's fight in the minefield."
Yeah.
Let's fight like real men.
Fucking hated that every time. Every time he would show up, I'm like, "I killed your girlfriend." He doesn't sound like that, Bill.
But yeah, that's
You know. Now I just kind of want to have a dialogue with you doing that voice and me doing Snake. You'd be like, "Frank, what the hell are you doing here? This is a minefield. We can't fight here."
We have to, Snake. We're on opposite sides.
What the hell happened to your voice?
I'm a soldier.
See, I don't even think I could do my Snake voice for the entire context of that. It'd be like,
every time he showed up, and he would get so mad. He's like, "He doesn't fucking sound like that, Bill."
See, that'd be the point in time where Snake's like, I think you need some voice acting classes.
He's a voice acting lesson.
You need to sound. You have to
Oh,
learn how
fuck.
to sound more manly, like this.
Manly, like when you take your penis and you show it to the ladies.
Oh, God damn it.
Why does Shane have to not be here for this?
He
Yeah, I
hated it, man. He
know.
was so mad, and I was
My
literally.
God, that's a genius idea. We need to do Metal Gear Bridge.
That would be pretty sweet. I read
'Cause I
like
could
every
probably,
line, man.
I could probably run it as Snake for a while.
Well,
I could probably do
considering
it.
the fact that we did record pretty much the entire game, like from start to front,
Yeah.
with only like 2 or 3 fuck ups.
I mean, granted, we'll have to write stuff for like in between stuff because there's not
Them
much
just running
dialogue.
around,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
I'm pretty
true.
sure we could come up with random guards being like, "Oh man, I hope somebody doesn't totally come out of nowhere and kick my ass." And be like, I just showed up out of nowhere and I'm gonna kick his ass.
No shit. I'm gonna kick his ass.
Oh no! Yeah, take it, bitch.
Yeah.
I think we could probably do that, right, Bill?
Dude,
This side project.
he was so mad. He would be so mad again, and it would be great. I think I had a voice for the doctor too, but I can't remember how that one went.
Was it an epic voice?
I don't
like
think-
like did he sound manly instead of like a nerdy twat?
It certainly didn't make Shane happy. I don't think he liked my doctor either, but I can't remember how that one
I
went.
think the doctor was close to that, but not exactly.
I can't remember.
You know what we should do for the doctor voice?
I keep telling you, motherfuckers, we need to record in between the show when we're doing stuff.
No, we need to do Dr. Kane. Dr. Wheelo.
That guy's awesome.
just use that guy's voice for it.
So,
Oh, God. Anyway, yeah.
Hey,
right,
that was a
right.
nice tangent. We ate up like 10 minutes with
Dude,
that.
Exactly.
but that is a big part of the story. And you go and you get her. She ends up dead. I'm not trying to give away too much for this one. It won't take you
owe
long
it
to
to
beat.
yourself to try to play it.
With a walkthrough, this
Definitely
is doable
use
in
the
like
walkthrough
what
for the
4
swamp.
hours. If
If
you'd have had, you
ish.
wandered around a bit. I think
I
with a
dicked around a
walkthrough-
lot because I kept getting lost.
Nick dicked around a bit. Then after you guys went and got food and it was me sitting by myself, I would literally record like, oh hell, maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes and then be like, all right, take a pause, run out and smoke. Come back in, 10, 20 minutes. Pause it, taking a smoke break. You know, like constantly running back and forth between like taking a smoke break from being pissed off, trying to read a walkthrough, and continue playing.
Yeah,
But
because I
think
wasn't
by
here
the
to help
time-
guide.
Yeah, by the time that you guys finally came back from eating, it was, oh dear God, I think like there was maybe 2 bosses left before Big Boss. And I was like, I can't take this shit anymore. Somebody else play for a while.
And then Bill
Yeah.
took up the reins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it, and then I remember at the end I was like, "Fuck, 3 ladders," and I remembered one ladder goes all the way to the top,
And the other two lead to
end,
die.
and you're pretty much guaranteed that you just lost the game.
Yeah.
And I got lucky and
Hey,
picked.
at
the-
least you
picked the
remembered
right
to
ladder.
smoke them cigarettes. Add
Yes.
that 5 minutes back.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
did pick the right ladder. It was luck. I'm not gonna say I remembered
Because
that.
I remember the escape, because it was like, oh man, better smoke them cigarettes, buddy. He's like, I'm
Yep.
on it, bitch.
Yeah, I did. I was like, "Fuck, I need a smoke."
It's like, yeah, smoking's not a joke anymore, is it, guy?
No, it certainly wasn't. Not after dealing with Metal Gears and cyborg
Bosses
ninjas.
who are big and
Yeah, and dealing with the fact
Robot
that you're
Ninja.
already there at the last level, then they blow the bridge, so you got to go back so you can make it to the final area to deal with fucking. It's like, oh my God, why the fuck?
I did have
the
a
bridge wasn't even that big. Snake could have left it.
I did have a wonderful time playing Gray Fox, though. I gotta say,
Yeah.
this is a highlight of my whole night that night. I'm
To piss off
if you would have
Shane.
seen it, if you like, Shane was so fucking mad because he likes Gray Fox. Like, it's one of my favorite
technically,
characters, but
it wasn't Gray Fox yet. It kind of was, but not really.
no, he was Gray Fox. He
Yeah.
was labeled as Gray Fox.
I know, but that's not the Gray Fox that Shane liked.
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
Because
it's
the one
true.
Because
that
he wasn't a
Shane-
robot.
The one Shane knows is the ninja.
Is
And
the angsty, hurt me more, BDSM
that,
robot
and he
ninja.
knows Noel. He knows Noel. He did play some of that game.
Oh, the whiny guy.
Well, Noel is the blank
know.
soldier. That is Frank Yeager.
I know.
So
That's whiny one of why
That's
won't
another
he
reason-
die?
that's another one. He kept being mad at me because he would be like, "Noel, remember Noel? Fucking his voice actor didn't sound like that, Bill."
Well, they took out the robot parts
Yeah.
He was awesome.
and then they put them back in for reasons.
But really, there's not too much to go over here. You will get into an area where you've beat Gray Fox. You'll fight him in a minefield.
Watch out for the mines.
You'll figure
Yeah.
out that Big Boss is not dead, that he's the one that set up Zanzibar Land.
Which-
And there's something weird going on at Zanzibar Land. You're there technically to, like, isn't there something about, like something children? Like,
Oh yeah, the
Yes,
orphan kids.
They're orphan children who are becoming child soldiers.
yeah,
Like
because
they've
they're
been
war
taking-
orphans.
Yeah, they're war orphans. So they've been taking up the kids, and Big Boss has essentially been raising them. Like they kind of treat him as like, sort of a father figure, but not really. I know
Actually,
they call him like
that kind
do
of
me a
makes
quick
sense
favor.
because in a way that started as early as the Metal Gear Peace Walker
yeah.
because he
Yeah.
took in those 2 kids and
I have a question for you.
yeah.
When did Metal Gear 2 come out? Like its release date? Do you remember?
Oh man.
Give me a minute.
All right,
Yeah,
so I was
I'm-
going to look it up
Besides, my mic
because I
isn't
want to
really
know
working
how
out that
many
well.
years between Metal Gear 2 and Phantom Pain. Not like chronologically. I mean release date.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to know how long it took them to actually go back and fix the weird continuity error that they made in the first 2 games.
What?
Because you kill Big Boss in the first one and you kill Big Boss in the second. They fixed it in Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. The guy that you play as in Phantom Pain,
Yeah.
is not Big Boss.
No,
but he is
yeah.
Big Boss
I know.
because Ocelot likes hypnotherapy.
Yes, I know.
So they share the title of Big Boss. You actually kill Venom Snake in Metal Gear, and you kill Big Boss in Metal Gear 2.
Yes. Which
so
is also not
that's
true
why I want to know
because-
how long it took for them to actually
Yes,
fix
but
it.
then in Metal Gear Solid 4, you figure out the Big Boss was never dead. He essentially slipped into a form of retirement.
A coma thing.
No, it was
stuff.
what was going on?
Okay, so what
This
happened
has
was
been a long.
Zero had him in a weird stasis thing
Yes.
with nanomachines.
Yes.
And when when everything started shutting down and everything, the nanomachine shut off and he woke up. And then he killed Zero. And then he died to Fox Die.
Yes.
That's
And then
pretty much.
the thing
4
that they
was
were,
confusing
the
as
thing they
hell.
were toting around that they thought was Big Boss was actually Solidus.
Yeah.
Because
they
I
switched him
remember
out.
all that shit too. Like Metal Gear is one of those games
It's weird as shit.
like you could play it through from start to finish like 40 times, and all 40 times you'll discover at least one thing that you'll be like, "Oh shit, that's crazy." Like
Well,
every time.
Do you want to know why they couldn't use Venom Snake for that, though? Because he didn't have the same DNA, so they would have known.
Yes.
So that's why they used Solidus, because he was a perfect clone.
But then Solidus is in his own right is confusing too, because there's a part of the story we've never been told.
Yeah.
We were told about 8 clones, and
Only
then
2
like
survived.
6 of them were killed specifically so that the 2 clones could be manipulated for the recessive and dominant genes so they could test a theory.
Yep.
And then
Solidus was just the perfect clone.
yes, but where does he come from?
I don't know if that was before or after.
You get what I mean,
Yeah.
though? Because he's also George Sears. He's the frickin' president.
I know. I'm just trying to think if he was cloned first before
They never-
them,
I don't think
or
they
if he
ever
was cloned
really-
after.
I don't think they ever really told us where he came from,
And
which
the sad
also
thing is,
brings up the
we
question.
will never know.
Right, now we will never know, but it also brings up the question, how many of them are there out there?
Yeah. Because there could be multiple other ones. Seth,
July 20th, 1990.
1990?
Was the release date.
It took them
for
25
Japan.
years.
Yep.
25 years to actually be like, oh, by the way, Metal Gear, you didn't kill Big Boss. You killed Big Boss. But it wasn't Big Boss, it was Big Boss.
Right.
Because the very last thing that you get after you do all of Phantom Pain, Act 2, and
Which also helps to explain...
you actually get the cassette tape from Big Boss that says Operation whatever the hell it was.
But it also helps to explain another inaccuracy that's always kind of been weird, is that in the first game, you are sent by America, and Big Boss is in the employ of America. He's working for America, but he's not working for America. He's doing the whole double agent thing.
Yeah.
And then when Zanzibar
He wasn't
Land,
expecting Snake to actually survive.
and when Zanzibar Land comes about, that's more his MO, because he does take orphans and forgotten soldiers, and because we've been doing it since, Peace Walker.
Yeah. Well, the thing
Actually,
is,
we've
it's
been
like
doing it since
Zanzibar
Portable
Land,
Ops.
Zanzibar Land was already in the making. So basically what happened was after Snake confronted Big Boss, in quotes, Big Boss was like, oh shit, I think he's actually going to do this. I need to piece the fuck out. And so he dipped out and went over to Zanzibar Land and was like, all right, I'm running this bitch now.
And
Let's
then
get this done.
If you really want to dive into some crazy Metal Gear stuff,
Why are there 2 Roy Campbells?
no, I was going to say jump into like Metal Gear Acid.
The what ifs?
That is crazy. Well, they're claimed as what ifs, but there's enough information given to that could actually be happening during Metal Gear, like in between Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. Those 2 games can take place and they don't affect the storyline, because 70% into Metal Gear Acid, you figure out you're not Snake. It's that whole thing.
I didn't get that far
It's
into
that whole
Acid.
thing you just went through again. He thinks he's Snake.
Oh, hypnotherapy. Wait,
Yes.
was it all the VR stuff too?
Man,
Because that would make sense with Raiden. Because Raiden was one of the first batches of the VR trained soldiers.
Yeah, the snake.
Which is why I love the Him Daisy stuff. Because
the snake that you're playing is actually the scientist that caused the entire situation. And who better to send in there
than the guy
to
who
fix
did
the
it.
situation than the guy who did it?
Holy shit. Wait a second. Hold on, wait. Let me get this straight. So they sent in dude in a white lab coat, brainwash him as like, you're Solid Snake. He's like, I'm Solid Snake. Except he doesn't sound like that.
Yes, you are.
But he doesn't sound like that because he's not Solid Snake. So he's like, I'm Solid Snake, huh? Yeah, let's do this for America. Science.
Yeah, he was.
That makes me want to actually fight through the bad card system and play that game.
When you first start that game,
because I played a little bit of it, and you saw me playing it. Because you're like, "What do you think?" It's like, eh.
At the start of the game, it's a pain in the ass. You have to put in like 2 or 3 hours.
And I just couldn't do it at the time because we had too many other cool games to play.
You purposely have to kind of like, you can quick move. I advise you never do it. Never quick move, and you'll like the game. Because every time you move back through an area, they give you a submission. Those submissions give you money. That money allows you to buy booster packs to get better cards.
Which you need, because the cards that they give you suck.
Yeah, they suck. And you also got to learn
you get a SOCOM. Oh, wait, you want a silencer for that? Yeah, about that.
You can learn tricks to manipulating the cards. Like, there's tricks like if you use a grenade card, it takes 3 turns for the grenade to blow up. Mm-hmm. But you can use a grenade card, and then you can use a gun card and target your grenade card and blow it up right now.
Which is handy, because then you don't have to wait 3 turns while everyone runs past it. Like a bunch of jackasses.
So it is kind of interesting how, like, this is another Metal Gear game. If you really get into this, you could play this game 2 or 3 times and pick up places where you're like, oh shit, so they really were duping me from like literally 20 minutes into the game. Like, you'll catch little things like that. And if you've already played the first game, when you fight the ninja in the room, he'll reveal his name after you beat him, and you're like, oh shit, that's the dude that was working with me in the first game.
Wasn't it Jonathan or something?
Yeah, I believe so. He was the dude. He was the dude that was working right under the woman who figured out who Big Boss was, but then was killed for figuring it out.
Yeah.
So
wasn't her name Jennifer?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. See, I remember some things.
So yeah.
Okay, then what's the name of the woman that you rescue at the end of part 2 here that we're talking?
So this, without a doubt, was another Metal Gear game.
What's her name then, Seth?
In the newer translation, it actually is Meryl.
Oh. That's weird.
So,
at least I'm pretty sure.
Storyline wise, this is another Metal Gear game. If you're willing to dive into it, you're going to get a lot of story out of this, and you're going to be able to put this into the mass of Metal Gear and learn a whole bunch of other stuff that you never thought meant anything. This is all important. It really is. So, going from this, we are now at rating.
Honestly, I'd have to say it's a 3. It's pretty standard for the series.
Oh yeah,
they added in some really good stuff, but honestly, that it's just kind of the staple of the series.
Had a derp moment, forgot the calculator. You said 3?
3.
Okay.
I'm kind of sitting there too. I think it's no more than a 3 because it sets the standard for how these games are going to go for a while. They're going to be top downs.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to crawl through vents, look under tables. When you get caught, it's going to go bring, and it's going to start the warning. And if you get through the warning, and the warning counts all the way down, and you were hidden long enough, and it gives you the box, which is a lot more usable in this one.
Yeah.
And a lot of the physics are picked up. The
and nobody
that
feels
you run across.
Asleep.
Yeah, like it sets the standard for every game to follow after this, because you figure both the Metal Gear Acids kind of follow this little format. Metal Gear Solid followed this format. Metal Gear Solid followed this format, and I'm talking about the Ghost of Babel.
Yeah, the Game Boy Color one. Peace Walker did.
Peace Walker kind of followed, yeah. It set the standard for how these games were going to work until Metal Gear Solid 3. Well, I guess I'll give it to 2, but 3 feels more 3D. 2 even kind of had the top-down a lot of the
Yeah.
times, where you were kind of running, looking, where 3, I felt like it was more from behind your back a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 3 you could actually move the camera around and whatnot.
Yes. So until part 3, this is the standard that all the games will follow.
Yeah, exactly.
4 just became a third-person shooter.
I suppose. I'm gonna give this a 3.5. I'll give it the extra bump just because I did enjoy part 1 a lot, but with the graphical bump, it becomes a lot better.
So that puts it at what, a 1 point, or not 1, 3.1.
3.166666667.
Awesome.
Okay.
That was Metal Gear 2. Hey guys, did you like that podcast? If so, head on over to fandomnight.com where you can check out all of our videos, our other members' videos, and subscribe to the RSS feed to get constant podcasts every other day. Later on.